Hey guys, welcome back. I hope you had a great time since last time on this channel. In this video, we're going to go over how to make this beautiful lighting for my latest piece on Instagram. So if you haven't seen that, then follow me on Instagram and let's just jump into cinema and see how I did the lighting. So I'm first of all gonna show you how to light this really awesome looking water droplet. And if you want to learn how I made this droplet, then the next tutorial I'll show you how I made it in Houdini, so stay tuned for that. But today it's all about learning how to make lighting for water droplets and for reflective materials. So first of all, we're gonna create a material. And this material, let's just pull it up here, like this. This material, I'm just gonna set my IOR to 1.33. And that's the IOR of water. So I'm also gonna set my roughness to 0.01. So what I want to do now is go down to transmission here and pull my strength up to 1. All right, let's put the material on our geometry and let's see what happens. So you can see we've just made a black render. All right, so we need some lighting. So let's go over here. Let's make a dome light and let's call this BG for background. So in this dome light, we're gonna go and press this add graph and we're gonna double click to dive into the graph. So inside of our shader graph, we're gonna search for a C4D shader and we're gonna pull it into the general texture 0. So first of all, in our texture parameters, we're gonna set it to 4000 by 4000 and we're gonna set the depth to 16-bit per channel. So under the shader, we're gonna select a gradient and now you can see something is actually happening out here and that's really nice. So inside of our gradient, we'll go to the type and select circular and I'll just try and switch these two around kind of like this. So we get a white circle that slowly fades off. And let's do it like this, maybe. Just make it so it makes like a circle that's slowly fading off. And as you can see, it's already working. So you can see we're getting some dark spots and some really light spots. So let's close it down and let's go and rotate our dome light. And I'll rotate it kind of like this right here. So you can see we have this nice white part that's almost transparent. And then we have this shadow that's slowly creeping in. And it's starting to look really nice. So let's duplicate this background. Let's call it HDRI. And let's also duplicate the material and put it on our HDRI. And let's also call that HDRI. All right, let's dive into it. And let's press clear on the shader tab here. And let's make a noise. Alrighty. So let's pull up our noise scale here. Let's give it some contrast. And let's pull down our brightness until we get some islands like this. Then we can go here to our shader and we can select a layer. So let's double click on our layer. And then in our layer system here, we're gonna select a shader and a gradient. Let's go into our gradient. Let's select circular. And let's do just as we did before, kind of like this. So we make a circle in the middle, that's white. Let's go out again and let's set the blending mode to multiply. So let me just turn off the background so you can see what this is actually doing. So you can see we're getting a kind of different look to our water droplets. And first of all, I'm gonna go into my HDRI and I'm gonna turn off my background. What that's gonna do is just create some nice reflections so we can just see our reflections. Let's close this and let's select our HDRI. Let's just turn it around until we get some nice looking reflections here. So you can see we've just chosen some random spots with our noise where our reflections are gonna show up. So let's turn up the intensity multiplier to 3, maybe. That's looking good. So we're getting some reflections. And let's turn on our background again. So now you can see we have our background, but we also have these reflections that are really contributing to the realness of this look. But one thing you're probably wondering is that what are we gonna do about this thing up here and these stretchy lines down here? Well, in the real world, it would actually look like this. This is physically correct. So it's refraction of all of the other droplets that are in the area we can see mirrored in this droplet. And right now it's a bit dirty here in the top and it's a bit distracting from our look. It's not that clean. So how do we make it clean? Well, let's go into our water here and let's come up to the optimization tab. Let's turn on our trace depth override. Let's turn our reflections up to 16 so we don't lose any reflections data at all. And watch what happens when I turn my transmission trace depth down. So look at what happens. They're slowly gonna disappear in here. So one more. You can see some more are disappearing. And one more. And now they're all gone. So this is a much cleaner look. And now we can see that our background is actually too dark up here. So just gonna find a nice little spot for our background here. I can see that I maybe need to go in here, pull it out a little bit more so we get more white. All right, that's looking pretty nice. So let me just render this. So you can see that you can get a really nice and easy clean look out of this technique. What about changing the color? Well, it's the most simple thing. You just go into your background and you turn this tint to another color, like maybe red. And bada bing, bada boom. Now you have a new color. And let's maybe make this blue. Or we could also go and make it a bit orange, like this, like kind of a, I don't know, whiskey kind of thing. And then I'll just go, maybe turn this around a bit. And yeah, just do it kind of like this. Seems more kind of the vibe. So yeah, you can see you can pretty easily change the look of your droplets and it always looks super great. So for our next reflective lighting, I've chosen these golden glasses here. And this technique I'll show you is a great technique for lighting jewelry or reflective surfaces. So just as we did before, we're gonna go here and create a dome light. Let's call it BG for background. And let's add a graph. All right, let's double click on it. Go in here, create a Cinema 4D shader. Let's come in here and put it into the texture channel. All right, so just as we did before, we're gonna change the resolution and our bit channel. And we're also gonna create a gradient. All right, so let's make a circular gradient, just the same as you did before. You can actually just go and copy the material you had before, but I'll just do it for the tutorial's sake. So let's just do it like this And I know I'm gonna have these two values be closer to each other in this instance. And first of all, I'm just gonna hide it in the viewport. So let me just go and find the background here. So I'm just trying to find the place where the black meets the white. So I'll just clamp it a bit more. All right. So as you can see, we have the black part right there. Now I'm almost getting the subtle gradient I'm looking for. Just need to bring a bit more white into it. Bit more black here. So we have a gradient that's going from dark to light. All right, let's duplicate this light and let's call it HDRI, just as we did before. Let's also duplicate the material and let's call it HDRI. All right, let's replace the material. All right, so let's just turn this off for a moment, our HDRI. So for my background up here, I'm actually just gonna go into my details here and I'm gonna turn every single thing down except my transmission. Because if I turn my transmission down, we're also gonna lose all of our glass and we don't want that. So just keep the transmission. So let's turn on our HDRI look again here. Let's go inside of our gradient here and let's just pull it back so we get this beautiful gradient shining through. All right, so now I'll just go and find the right place to put this gradient. All right, I think we're starting to get something here. Kind of like this, maybe. Yeah, I think I like what it's doing. So it's just kind of making this subtle backlight. All right, let me go into the texture again and let's pull the white point back even more. And you can see what it did. It just smoothed out our gradient here. Really nice. Okay, cool. So now we're gonna go and create a light, a area light. And in our area light, we're gonna press the Add Graph tab. So let me just go inside of my area light graph here and let's make a ramp. And the reason why we make a ramp and not a C4D texture as we did all of the other times is that for some weird reason, if we make a C4D texture, it cannot be put into a area light. It can only be put into a dome light. And that's pretty weird in my opinion. So that doesn't matter. We can just use a RS ramp. So let's go and put it into the general color. And let's go here. Let's select a circular mapping. And as we did before, let's just go here and let's pull these in. As you can see, we don't have an indication of what it's actually doing. So let's close this and let's go out of our camera. And first of all, we need to scale this light way, way down. Like something more like this. It's so much better. What I want to do now is also go to my intensity multiplier, just turn it down to 1. And if we come down to the bottom here where it says visible, you can turn on that tab. And as you can see your image on your light. And we have turned it the wrong way around. So let's just flip these and let's make a nice looking light. Yeah, so as you can see, now we have a really nice looking dome light that's fading off. So let's go into our area light again. Let's turn off the visibility. let's go up here to our render view and let's choose our camera. Let's lock it in place. So now we're just looking from our camera's viewpoint. So I'll just go here and place my light kind of like this, I think. And this is just trial and error. Just see where the reflections are coming from. Oh yeah, that was pretty nice, that one. So yeah, I'll just go and just place my lights where I find that they are looking pretty good. Alright, so that's looking pretty nice. So I just found some places where the lights were reflecting really nicely off the object, and I just think I found something that might just work. So let me just go through what I did. So let me also turn off my HDRI. So the first light I did was a side light. That's just subtly making this detail over here, and it's just making this nice side light here. The next light I made was this top light here. That's just lighting the top of the glasses and really making a nice looking reflection here. And the last light I made was a bottom light. That's just taking the edge off down here, and it's also edging in down here. And maybe let's just put it like that. So it's just on the corner and just emphasizing this little curve. All right, and all together with our HDRI, it looks like this. So what I want to do now is rename this to the side light. And then I want to duplicate it 2 times, and I'll make a top light and a bottom light. So our top light is gonna go on the top here, and our bottom light is gonna go on the bottom. All right, so I'm just gonna go into my bottom light here, and I'm just gonna set it to 0.5. So it isn't that overpowering. And then I wanna go to my top light. I'm gonna set that to 2. So it's really making this nice looking white gold color. Let's turn down our HDRI to 0.7. Like that. We can turn up our bottom light again. Yeah, maybe let's set it to 0.8. Yeah, that should be fine. Yeah, I'll just pull up my HDRI again. I just want these two to blend really nicely together. We can even go into our side light and just pull the gradient. So it really makes it blend together really nicely. All right, so let me just render that for you guys so you can see what is actually happening here. So if I just zoom in here, you can see this is the look we have ended up with. So we have these really nice looking reflections that are all soft, and it really makes this look like a high-end jewelry look. So that is how to make lighting on metallic surfaces and on liquid. So if you have any questions, then please go into the Discord server. The link is in the description. And you can also find all sorts of people that want to talk and help you out in the Discord channel. So please go and follow that. And if you want to support me here on YouTube, then please go and subscribe and also like my video. That really helps out a big time. So now that I have plugged all my stuff, then the final thing to say is just go out there, make some beautiful renders, and I'll see you next time for some more cinema magic. Goodbye.